Hey, what's up, guys? So, you think I'm going to be talking about Call of Duty today? Actually, I'm not. There is a new law that was passed in 31 states and it involves driving. And what the law is you have to have both hands on the wheel at all times when you're driving, literally. If the police see you driving with one hand on the wheel, they will pull you over, and you have to have both hands on the wheel. Starting June 5th, this is something they're going to enforce, and it is to keep us more safe when we're driving, because when you have two hands on the wheel, you're able to control your car better. So just wanted to give the community a heads up. It's in 31 states. I know we have 50 states in America, but if your state is included, that means you have to have both hands on the wheel at all times. And it will keep you from being distracted when it comes to driving. So both hands on the wheel, driving at all times. And it's going to be interesting to see how they enforce it. I think they said the first ticket is $50, and then every other offense is an additional $50. You get points off on your license. Like right now, I went to go scratch my nose, but it's not like I have one hand on the wheel the whole time and I'm just got my other hand just like on my cup holder or something like that. So both hands on the wheel, June 5th, that's when it's all going to begin. Some states don't still have it, but we're going to see what happens, because it's interesting. How are the police going to be able to catch people? Because when they're driving, and I think they're going to catch a lot of people too when they're just sitting at a light and they're flicking through their phone while the car is stopped. They're going to be looking out. So both hands on the wheel at all times is going to be enforced on June 5th. And as you can see, I'm already practicing right now, because I always want to make sure that I protect my CDL license. Now, when it comes to drivers that shift their cars, I wonder how that's going to work, because, you're driving a car and it has a stick, you have to shift it. You know what I mean? We'll see. I mean, imagine all the things that are going to happen, where people are going to be challenged with this kind of law. Me personally, I'm used to having both hands on the wheel most of the time, pretty much all the time. But every now and then, you know what? You're just used to driving with one hand, because you get so kind of like used to it. It's like second nature. But you know what? It's going to give me that peace of mind that I'm obeying the law. It's going to be a law, basically. You know what I mean? So, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how this turns out in terms of, accidents and just like all kinds of things, fatalities, just distracted driving, everything that has to do with, keeping both hands on the wheel at all times. So that's something that really it interested me, because it's like we've never had a law passed like this before. So, for it to pass in 31 states, we'll see what happens. Because I really think it's going to be a benefit, even though some people are going to think it's absurd and unnecessary. I beg to differ, because, when I'm driving and I see drivers all the time, because I'm in a truck, I could see lower, and I could see that a lot of people most of the time are distracted by something, whether it's the phone and it's the radio. It's just something that's always, there's like a two-way communication inside a vehicle, and it shouldn't be that way. It should be you're just driving at all times, and that's that. So with that being said, this is interesting. June 5th, 2025, this is going to come into effect, especially in my state, Connecticut. I knew they weren't going to outrule this in Connecticut, because Connecticut is a state where a lot of people drive really fast. And it's ranked, I think, third place for the most dangerous roads in America. I don't know what they mean by that, but what I could say is that, I do appreciate this, because me driving a tanker and doing the kind of work that I do, I feel like I'm going to be more safe, because people are going to have to obey it, and they're going to be more concentrated concentrating on driving and not getting this ticket, and that's the point of it, you know. So, you know, for them to pass this law, too many mistakes, too many fatalities, too many things happen where enough's enough. And I might get some rhetoric about it, you know, yeah, they're trying to take away our freedoms, this and that. Well, maybe if we were better stewards of being responsible and you know, taking safety and precaution more seriously on the regular. I mean, you gotta remember, when we're driving a machine that can be either a transportation tool or it can be a serious dangerous weapon. So we have to consider always respecting the machine and respecting the law, because at the end of the day, when we leave our house, we have to go by the law of the land, because that's what keeps everybody safe, if you ask me. And to be honest with you, I don't know how many times I've had more control over my own vehicle when I had two hands on the wheel than when you have one hand and you're driving, and you know, you could I guess you could kind of not have full control. So it's kind of like, okay, so now what we have to do is just accept this new law and move on forward, because this is the new norm. But my advice is, if you want the police to know that you have both hands on the wheel, when you're driving, it's so easy to just buy a pair of, like, I'm not saying racing gloves to race, I'm saying like some kind of gloves that will clearly show them that both hands are on the wheel, that it's not transparent to the color of the wheel. And I promise you, you'll look cool and you'll save yourself $50 every time. Because, you know, what happens if they don't see you with the two hands, but you had your two hands and they're still giving you a ticket? You know, that's where there's going to be lawsuits. So you have to try to make it easier for the police to see that you have both hands on the wheel. Heck, I mean, I got my both hands on the wheel and I'm wearing these black gloves, but you know, I'm gonna buy a pair of gloves that doesn't match with the wheel, because I want to be able to make it very clear that I have both hands on the wheel, because they're going to be recording. I suggest you should record too, so that way if you're ever mistaken for a ticket that you know you had both hands on the wheel, you could clearly show the judge at court and the prosecutor, and they could throw away the case. So with that being said, everybody, it's very important to take this seriously, because they will give tickets. They don't care. It will impact your license. There will be points taken off your license. It will raise up your insurance. This is a law that's meant to, if you're not obeying the law, you're going to pay for it in the long run, because you're going to be making more payments. It's going to be on your record. It's going to be on your insurance. People are going to see that you're not taking safety seriously. So you really have to keep both hands on the wheel at all times, and just respect the fact that this is not meant to take away freedom. This is meant to make your road more safe, just as much as my road more safe. And I am for this law, because not because I want to see the people come to my channel and start, you know, blasting me. I am for this law because I drive a commercial vehicle, a tanker, for a living, and you don't know how many times I feel like too many people are just not paying attention to the road, and they're just distracted, and because of it, they cause a lot of stress in my life. So when it comes down to it, I am 100% for this law. I want to see driving taken more seriously, because it needs to be taken more seriously. And a lot of people are on prescribed medication. They're drinking, they're smoking, they're doing all kinds of things that are causing them to have a alteration to, you know, not take the safety of themselves or others. You know, every time I'm driving, I always see someone's bumper that's damaged or something, because a lot of times people are just not paying attention when they're driving. They're too focused on other things. So when you drive, people have become so distracted that they don't even, they're on autopilot, and we're not supposed to be on autopilot. We're supposed to be driving and knowing exactly what we're doing at all times. So I am 100% for this law. I think this law is going to bring more safer drivers on the road, and it's going to bring more peace to people, because it's going to be it's going to be something to get used to, because the people that are just defiant and are rebellious and they are going to, resist this, that, and the third, that's on them. You know what? I'm getting too old to be trying to be a rebel or a brute, I never was a rebel, I never was a brute. But what I'm trying to say is I'm getting too old to think that America is, land of the free, home of the brave. I think it's more America's land of the feet and home of the grave, because a lot of people are just not taking life seriously anymore. And if you don't take life seriously anymore, if you don't take lives seriously anymore, then if you reverse the word lives, it spells out evil. Okay? Evil. And so evils, you have to take life seriously or evil things will happen. So if you take the word live and you flip it around, and it spells out evil. So what I have to say about this is I am very thankful for this law to pass. I know some people may have a different rhetoric towards it. They may blast me for it in the comments. I'm willing to take all the criticism I need. But you know what? I know that my community, my friends, are going to be more safe, because not only am I saving them, I'm giving them the warning, the heads up, so they don't get the ticket, but more and more people around them are going to be more focused when they're driving. Because if they're not, and they have one hand on the wheel, they're going to start getting that ticket tack. And every time they get that ticket, there's a second offense, $100. Third offense, $150. Fourth offense, $200. Fifth offense, $250. Sixth offense, $300 ticket just for not having both hands on the wheel. Seventh offense, $350. Eighth offense, $400. And it goes all the way up to $450, and then that's when they start tacking on the points. You don't take it seriously, they will make sure you will have to take it seriously, because I do believe your insurance will go way up, and these tickets are not going to be worth affording. And just having my two hands on the wheel right now, there's this feeling that I just feel safe, and I feel like everybody else is going to have to comply with this law, because this is the new law. You can't break this law, because this law is what's going to save more lives, and it's going to make people more acceptable to not being distracted to their driving. So Stealth Dragon for Life is my name. Comment, share the video, smash the like button, and subscribe to the channel, please. Because this is okay. Like right now, I just scratched my mustache a little. Now, I think there's a certain amount of time before you're considered with one hand. Like if you're just doing something quickly, that's fine. They're looking for someone that has a care less for this law. They're looking for someone that has a care less for this law, and they're just gonna drive around the way they've always driven around with one hand. Like this is it, man. We kind of, we as a society, I think we've ruined it, because by showing the world, and not just us, this is going to happen everywhere in the world, because it's not just us that have the same problems with distractions. It's going to happen everywhere, and when it happens everywhere, it's going to be one of those things where you're going to see more peace on the roads, because when people have both hands on the wheel, they're susceptible to knowing exactly how to control their car really well. And, when it comes to this coming to effect in June 5th, it's going to be a lifesaver, in my opinion. And I think it's just going to become normal after a while, because you're going to feel more safe when you're driving. You're going to feel more comfortable, because more and more people are going to have both hands on the wheel, because they don't want to get this ticket. They don't want to rack up this tally of $450. They don't want to lose points off their license. Okay, so and this is important too, because I'm telling you guys, it's June 5th. We have 4 days away. It's better to know now so you can practice and get used to it on the regular. Therefore, you're not distracted, or you don't even know the law passed, and then you're getting pulled over and you're wondering, why did I get pulled over, especially at a light? I'm not doing anything wrong. And then they're like, sir, ma'am, I don't know if you're aware, but there is a law where you have to have both hands on the wheel, passed on June 5th. I saw you only had one hand on your wheel, therefore I'm giving you a $50 ticket. That's going to ruin someone's day, because then they're going to be like, well, I didn't hear about this. Where did this come from? You know what I mean? So you're better off knowing, because when you're better off knowing, you're more likely to be growing from not getting these tickets and the points off. And I know I keep repeating that, but on YouTube, if you keep repeating something, constant repetition, people get the point and they start to program themselves and to familiarize with what I'm saying. It's not worth having these tickets rack up, because every time you get this ticket, it's not just for the first offense. There's a police officer right in front of me right now, and I bet you he's getting ready to see that. Right now, I'm driving. I got both hands on the wheel. This is awesome. It's a perfect example. And you know, when I have both hands on the wheel, it's important, because when you have both hands on the wheel, it shows that I'm already practicing this law. You know what I mean? Like, I am not taking this lightly. Like, this is gonna change how people drive all the time. And I think the reason why that police officer is there is because as soon as someone goes through that stop sign thing and he's not there, he's going to pull them over. It's Sunday. You know, it's one of those things. So, and yeah, this is crazy. Like, I got to tell you, this is really crazy, because if you think about it, it's one of those things where when it comes down to it, it's serious stuff, man. This is one of those things where they're going to be more enforcing it, and they want us to be safe on the roads. All right, guys, Stealth Dragon for life. Hit the like button, share the video, comment, smash. I will see you guys on the next one. I love you all. Thank you, community. I'm looking out for everybody. Thank you. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.